Well, hello everybody. Happy Friday. I'm your host, Stephen Meade with Domicile real estate for people who love houses. This is window shopping, where we talk about cool houses for sale in Southern California that have some kind of architectural design or unique lifestyle. And we're going to talk about a house that is a little bit different this time. And we're going to actually spend a lot of time talking about the outside of this house, even though the rest of the house is pretty cool too. And we will go through that. So this one is a little bit different because I don't think this is something that we've really spent as much time on as I think we need to and is important to. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to talk about this house because I really do believe this house is pretty amazing. Um, let's see here. Let me just get on for our screen share here, and we will go ahead and get started. So let me bring that up real fast. And there we are. Now we have it. So this is 718 Westgate in Los Angeles. And this is actually located in the Brentwood neighborhood. Obviously, some of you are familiar with Los Angeles. You've heard of Brentwood before. If you remember the O.J. Simpson trial, you definitely remember Brentwood. Brentwood is a very ritzy neighborhood west of the 405 freeway in kind of that Westwood area. And it's a very ritzy area. And that kind of explains our price here, why we're at $2 million for a two-bedroom, two-bath, 1,400 square foot home built in 1947. This isn't our listing. It is listed by Elyse Arbour with Rodeo Realty in Brentwood. But, I want to talk a little bit about the outside of this house first. And this is the backyard to this home. And I want you to think about where this is, right? Like, this is in the middle of prime West LA real estate, and they've done something amazing here. When you hear people talk about creating an outdoor room, I think 90% of the time it is pretty much bullshit. It is people using fancy catchphrases, playing buzzword bingo, trying to get your attention. This is an outdoor room for real. And I love what they've done. So let's talk about a couple of the elements here that are present. So number one, I think they've created a space that feels like it is something special. And they've done that through a number of means. But the coolest part here is this sort of outdoor koi pond that you see that kind of separates. You actually walk across a little bridge to the seating area from this koi pond. So you've got some sound going on with this waterfall element. And you've kind of got this sense of occasion, right? You have to walk across this and walk across a little bridge to get to it. So I think it feels special that way. The other thing they've done is they've created some real layering effect, right? We've got some bamboo coming up here. We've got differing trees. The wall is partially covered. We have foundation plants. We've got kind of this mulch. I mean, there's a lot of different textures going on and layers. So it doesn't just feel like we're stuck just in this little crappy suburban type backyard. I mean, this is actually, they've created that sense of layering and sophistication. This is looking back at the house. And I think that really kind of underlines this. You see trees at different levels. There's a lot of natural shade in this backyard. And then we've also created a purpose, right? There is a fire pit here. There are comfy chairs. This is designed to be a place that you would relax in. And, for a home, when the home main house is only 1,400 square feet, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, right? Doesn't it, to actually have kind of that element here, that additional outdoor space? It really sort of expands the livability of a house like this. But this big bamboo, I mean, this has really created kind of this urban West LA sanctuary type feeling. And I think it's also created some privacy. And those are really the two things I think that are in short supply, right? Like, there's a lot of great things about living in West LA, but privacy, seclusion, these are not typically things that come up as traits. So you can see this. You've got, again, a layering going back to the house as well. So it feels like it's not just house plus concrete. I don't really like that. I like to see some buffering here. There's kind of this walk from the house to this outdoor space, right? Like, you've got this, again, sense of occasion. And I think it's important. These are all the things that make a space outside feel special. And I think that really is the point here, right? Is that you're trying to create an outdoor space that is useful for something, a space to create memories, a space to really enjoy time in with family and friends and maybe even business associates, right? So we've got this kind of seating area here. I'm not sure this is exactly the furniture I would have chosen or the layout, but that doesn't come with it. I love the different kinds of trees that they planted here. I am not a tree expert, so I'm not going to pretend to go on the species, but by doing that, it's given a little bit of height to the space too. It's funny, when I first saw this, I immediately thought that this yard looks like something in the Pacific Northwest. Like there's so much greenery here that is present to look at. It doesn't even look exactly like West LA in California. Here is that koi pond. We've got lily pads. See the koi, they can actually swim under this bridge. Sort of a cool element, a little bit of a bubbler there. This is kind of the entry to the house. And now you see too what a cool house this is, right? This is an 1940s post and beam construction. We've got some awning windows. Once you come inside you kind of get a feeling. I think this space is a little busy personally, right? Like I feel like that maybe there's just a little bit more going on that I'd want. I'd want a little bit more cohesive, but you got to look at the bones here, and the bones of the space are great. You've got exposed beams, tongue and groove, lots of glass, lots of little nooks and areas. I also like that they do something that I call controlling the view, right? In a home, when you have a lot of glass, you want to control the views out of every window and door. Here we are looking out at greenery, not directly out an immediate other house, which is actually only 10 feet away. We've got this space over here, which leads to that backyard. I mean, there's just so many cool things in this home. It's not huge, but it's very well proportioned. I love that this wall of glass, you've got the ability to see the house back, right? So one of the things that I always loved about Cliff May homes, when you have a home that is L-shaped, you get something that's really cool. And that means you can be sitting in one room of the house, right? So you're sitting in one room and you can look out the window and see other parts of the house. I think that gives your brain, it's kind of like a little bit of a mind trick, an optical illusion. It makes homes feel bigger when you can do that. Cool integrated fireplace with great stone. They've done a nice job too with the TV on this wall. This is a nice house. Again, some of the materials, I think we've got just a few too many colors and textures. I'd really like to kind of tighten that up if I could, kind of clean it up, streamline it. But this is a great size kitchen also for the size of a home. A lot of counter space. This is a well done home. We've got a primary suite here, which is, again, really a big size. Like, I think this was clearly an addition here at some point that was done to make this bigger. So, this home has gone through a couple of iterations, but we've got a large bathroom. 1,400 square feet, 2 bedrooms is actually pretty big. A generous secondary bedroom as well. Some of these finishes, maybe not necessarily my favorites. This is kind of looking at that space here. I love the intersection of these walls. Even though this was built, it's got a couple of additions. I like that the home kind of tells a little bit of a story. It's got a cool bench. There's just a lot of great places to hang out with this house, a lot of great places to sort of, just be you and do activities. I think sometimes we become so obsessed with square footage that we forget there should be a purpose to these spaces. And this home actually provides that sense of purpose. Space, we've got another secondary area over here, bamboo, place to eat outside. I mean, really, this home is just chock full of unique places to be and enjoy life. And I think for $2 million, frankly, it should have all these things, right? Like, I mean, that is our expectation. But, the point of this is to really expand your brain around what do these spaces mean and where really is the value in terms of lifestyle of the property, right? It's not just square footage on a lot, neighborhood, and number of bedrooms and baths. Like, there's a lot more to really understanding that kind of life quality value to a property. And outdoor space like this just tremendously adds to it in a climate like Southern California. Anyhow, Thanks for watching. If you would like to see this home, 718 South Westgate in West Los Angeles in the Brentwood neighborhood, definitely reach out to us. If this is not the home for you, but you love cool houses and you'd love to work with us, we would love to represent your interests as a buyer. And by the way, as a buyer, you should have your interests represented. Or if you have a unique lifestyle architectural home to sell, we can absolutely help you out with that as well if you're in the Southern California area. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and we will see you again real soon.